Hey everybody, it's Paul from Screenwriting Scribe. Today during my live stream, I had somebody ask me if I had written a book before. And I said, no. But it got me thinking about resources for beginning screenwriters. And so today I'd like to give you 5 books that I think would be great on your shelf. I'm actually going to give you a couple more because there's a couple more that I think are exciting. But they're not necessarily books that are going to help you write, but I just find them really interesting. So I'm going to include those as well too. So it's probably going to be my top 7 maybe. So let's get started. These are in no particular order. My first one is going to be the Screenwriter's Bible. So here's my first one, the Screenwriter's Bible by David Trotter. I like this because it goes through all those different formatting stuff. You know, how do you punctuate a certain thing, or how do you say off-screen versus on-screen, or any of those sort of formatting details you want. You know, how to do a telephone conversation, how do you do an insert. All this sort of stuff is great in here. This is the 4th edition. I think they're way past the 4th edition. But like I said, if you ever have any questions about just formatting, great source. I have it on my desktop. I use it whenever I need to. My second favorite book is this one here, Paul Guyot. I did an interview with him. I'll leave that link in the, probably at the end of this video, so you can watch me talk to him. He's a screenwriter, done a lot of wonderful work. He's sort of the anti kill the cat book, or save the cat book, sorry. And so this is really good. It gets you to sort of think about, I think for at least the last couple of years, people have been so obsessed with rules and how things go with rules that I think this is the book that's sort of the anti-rule book. There's some stuff that he wants you to do, but I think so often we think you need to have the inciting incident at this page, or if you're not exactly at this page, then you're doing something wrong. Paul really does a good job of getting you back to just doing the writing, and that's the important thing. So if you haven't had a chance, again, links for all these will be in the description of the video. I'm probably going to send you to Paul's store instead of Amazon's, just so that he can get the royalties for that a little bit more if it's still on his store. Otherwise, it'll probably have his store or the Amazon link in the description. The next book that I really enjoy, which is sort of one of the books that Paul was sort of railing against, was John Truby Presents The Anatomy of a Story. Now, my background comes from, I have a science background, and so I liked it from sort of that sort of thing. It sort of lays everything out. He gives you a lot more rules, a lot more formatting things about how things should and shouldn't work, which is sort of what Paul is railing against. But I think you can find a lot of good information just in general about how to handle different things. Some of the things that he does a good job with is helping you create a story world, symbol web, a plot, scene weave, system stuff, 7 key steps of story structure. So I mean, there's some stuff. Again, take this with a grain of salt. I just thought it was nice. It really helped me get familiar with the term, since again, I'm sort of a second career screenwriter. I didn't go to school for this. So it sort of got me caught up on sort of the theory behind it. Again, if you listen to Paul more often, Truby wasn't the best screenwriter in the world, and he wasn't. But he does, I think, have some good points. And so, like I said, I like this book. Especially if you like to learn a little bit more of the background, it just gives me a little bit more. Now, the next book comes from Jacob Michael, who I actually did an interview with. He's the creator of Big Red Stripe, one of the YouTube channels. And I really enjoyed his book, The Complete Guide to Story Structure. Interesting about it, he and Paul are very much on the same page when it comes to rules and formats and stuff like that. And so one of the most important lessons, though, I learned in his particular book was the difference between storytelling and story. And I think a lot of writers get those two confused. So I'm just going to read a short excerpt out of his book about that. So the first thing to understand about storytelling is that sole concern and goal is to engage the audience through their emotions. That is, it's concerned. How are you feeling? How are they reacting? Are they happy? Are they crying? Do you want them to be? And master storytellers know how to incorporate storytelling tools, just like the conductor of an orchestra, properly cueing the cellos, the kettle drums, and the flutes. Now, the story, instead, includes the elements of plot, character, conflict, theme, and setting, at least at its core. Aristotle's also included spectacle, which is really a subset of theme, and he included melody, but that was in part because of the successful dramas of his day incorporated a chorus. Jacob was a college professor, and he taught screenwriting, so you can really see that in his writing. His writing is really approachable, really easy to read. It doesn't take very long to go through his particular book. Unfortunately for his book, you have to go to his site and buy it on his site. as a sort of a class that you go through and read. So that's the only downside. Other than that, I really enjoyed it. It helped me think of storytelling a lot differently. Really appreciate it, and I would definitely pick it up. Now my fifth one here, and this was, I probably go with as saying it's one of my latter ones because I actually haven't finished it yet. I've gotten through about a third of it so far, and I just have been enjoying the read so far. And so I really enjoyed the nutshell technique, Crack the Secret of Successful Screenwriting by Jill Chamberlain. So far it's been really good. I've been really enjoying it. But I haven't gotten through the whole thing. So that's why I'm sort of giving you, yeah, if you want to pick this one up on, great. She does a good job explaining things again. So again, take this one with a grain of salt. I haven't read through the whole thing yet, but it isn't too bad so far. So maybe give this one a try. Now the two books that are sort of extras that I really enjoy are actually more about a screenwriter. Now I'm a big William Goldman fan, and so I got two of his books that I really have enjoyed so far. Which Lie Did I Tell? Which talks about more adventures in the screen trade, and that is the sequel to his other book that I have, which is Adventures in the Screen Trade. He, if you didn't know, wrote Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which is a real big turning point within screenwriting, and he's written a lot of pictures out there, and I've really enjoyed listening to his stories and learning about the trade from him, and so I just love these. They're not really going to help you with your screenwriting journey. I just think they're really interesting. Like I said, I had to get them. They just were so. He's such a fascinating character, and that's why I decided to pick his books up. So, what about yourself? What screenwriting books do you have on your shelf that you'd like to share with everybody else? Put them in the comment section below. Until the next video, live well and write well.